All shift happily now. Oh my gosh, everyone. It is the 25th, and I have the great pleasure to be with wonderful souls, meaning all of you around the world in all dimensions and reality realms, from Sirius B to Orion back to Andromeda and right here on this little blue ball called Earth. And I'm not alone this time, except. For lots of beautiful people in the chat, which I'm going to put right onto the stage as well. And then also get me some jazz because I'm in the mood for jazz and I hope you all are as well. Okay, there we go. So let me see. Okay, wait, let me put on the music first because it is. I love this. Okay, we're in the feeling, everyone. What an episode we have today. Community Live, this time with a special guest who I am very, very happy to have done Activate together. And we are going to do the next round of a very special personal development program called Ticket to Ride. But today we are going to talk about the Earth, what has changed, what has shifted. I do have some updates from the moon. Let's see if we come to the moment to share that. Otherwise, I'm going to make a video and put it on the We Love Hub. Everyone who doesn't know that, it's our beautiful social app. It's free. Enjoy us there. It is filled with beautiful people. Thank you all for doing the contributions every single day. It is a pleasure, you know. What a difference if you're coming from regular social normstream social media platforms and then you're with us on the welovehub.com. It is such a difference. It is such a difference in energy. It is beautiful. Awesome. Let me read some of your comments and welcome you first. PC93 is here. He said, "You take the deal, I take that deal." Good deal. I love that. Because we said, let's enter a new world together. Yeah, very, very happy to have you all. Morgan is here. Hi. Not sure if that is a bunny emoji or a peace sign. Vama, hi. Mark is here. Welcome. Welcome from the Netherlands. So good to see you. Brandy is here. Pia from Sweden. Thank you so much for joining in. Miss Mahalia Jackson with us. Thank you so much. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for tuning in from Germany. Michelle is here. Always great to see you. Unveil the truth. Hello, wonderful people. Cyprus Ann. Hi, everyone. First time on live chat. Thank you so much. Well, your comment made it. It's on the screen. Sandy is here. Lake City, Missouri. MN on the Mississippi. Kathy Lampert. Big hugs from Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for joining in, Kathy. Brandy is here as well. Thank you so much. We have another very special guest, someone I'm very excited to have here on the Community Live once more. My gosh, what a fantastic Activate we had together. I want to reminisce about that a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the big news about the planet, about the energy updates, so to speak. I think in the spiritual community they say that spirit energy updates for today. Well, with us today and here live on the Community Live, on the All Shift Happily Community Live, Sarah Thula.
Hello.
Bonsoir, welcome in. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, and I'm so happy to be back with everyone. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, for everyone who doesn't know Sarah or hasn't seen her face, over on my channel in the last few weeks, besides being a wonderful being, you're also working with me in Ticket to Ride. We've done Activate together. You had fantastic role in balancing some of the energies and creating a really, really sweet and nice energetic realm. And always very happy to have you. So welcome back on the show. Let me switch the music too.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. This community is so special. Activate was so special, and thank you so much for having me.
Unveil the Truth is saying Dream Team. Thank you so much. Oh, he's back. He's back? Probably she's back. He's back? Well, I'm back too. Brandy is saying Activate was awesome. Let's start with that, because I think there's a lot of people here who've been with us in Activate, and it really has activated something. I can 100% feel that. I can 100% say that when we were doing Activate, which was 2 days, right? It was 2-day activation session, but we had 1 week of sitting together and doing mental exercises together as a group and sending something into the collective field. And when we were doing that, like the realm was full of beings, you know. It was amazing. Like I could feel like there was dimensions over dimensions joining in on us doing that. So I want to thank everyone who's been there on planet Earth in your embodiment of having done that with us. It was just fantastic. Last time I've actually felt that full was when I was doing Truth Hunter with Linda Moulton Howe. But I came into the studio, you know, everyone doing their stuff, all the technicians being technicians and directors being directors and so on. And Linda, you know, doing her little notes and so on. And it was kind of like a normal atmosphere. But then I took Linda's hand and I said, like, I want to do something right now, Linda. Let's do All Shift Happily Now together, you know? And I said something about like, you know, we are here, we are creating energies, we're shifting and changing the world, and we're doing that together with a trillion folds of life forms all over. And in that very moment, I could feel that the room was filling up to a degree I have never experienced. I could feel like it was crowded, like all these people were like, what the heck is going on there? What's going on there? What is that signal? And you know, suddenly you have all these beings that were there, and we're just watching what was going on. You know, like humanity tapping into all these revelations, and then 3 years later, you and I doing Activate together with these wonderful beings. Probably you watching there too, and I could feel it again. How was that for you?
It was so interesting. I'm really curious what everyone else felt before Activate, because, you know, I've been, like you said, that moment 3 years ago where you were talking about being with Linda and like multiple people, like feeling the energy in the room. It was like an hour before Activate, and it felt like I was about to start an event with hundreds and thousands of people. Like I have never felt a feeling with that much awareness present in my career. I've stood on stages with a lot of people present, speaking to big groups, and I never felt the presence that I felt before Activate. It felt so huge. It was amazing.
It felt incredibly huge. I felt that too. And again, I want to thank everyone who was with us on that day, because it was literally it was filled. It was filled. It was one of these moments where I felt like all of these beings here on Earth right now, we were all doing something together that was like spectacular. It was really spectacular. And I want to thank everyone, because I think that was the very first time that I had actually tears running down my cheeks while we were doing the blessing all together on the live thingy. So I think I held it together quite well.
It was so beautiful. Tim, there was this moment where when in the beginning, when you were calling in, like welcoming in friendly beings, helpful beings, before the event, I was like, what is this feeling? Like this feeling of like this beautiful energy of like, the best way I could describe it is like a rush of like, oh, we're doing this like together, not just me and Tim, like together, we're all together doing this. And that's what it felt like, this energy of like excitement and anticipation. Then Tim, you shared that introduction where you were welcoming in the friendly beings and you kept extending it to more and more friends and more friends. And that was the moment my consciousness caught up, and I was like, this is why he just welcomed in all of his friends from all of the realms. And they're like, thank you, I'm here. Like, thank you so much, Tim. We're here, we're present, we're helping the shift moment. It was really special. It was like that moment of like almost like backwards, like what is deja vu? You know, like this moment I was like, oh, that's why I felt that earlier, because he was gonna do this. This makes sense.
I know, it's special. And I want to remind everyone, because we are in a crazy time, right? We actually have a podcast coming out right after this live, so you can watch a few insights and other things in a composed form. But we are in a crazy time. Everyone sees that right now. I could go through YouTube and give you like 50 clips of big mainstream news outlets talking about UFOs, showing videos of UFOs, people having these encounters, people waking up to a new way of truth. Joe Rogan podcast talking about what's underneath the pyramids for the very first time. It's just crazy. They found these hundreds of feet of coils underneath the pyramids with laser technology and all these things. It's really amazing. But that is only the tip of the iceberg, because the reality and the way that we design the reality, it's happening, here in the observer state. Everyone out there is the observer of the reality. And after we did activate, and here's the thing, we've been doing All Shift Happily now for like 3 years or 4 years, 3-4 years or so. Thank you for everyone who's ever put their mind into it and ever psychically changed something. That the world is right now at the stage where it is, with the president talking about ETs, that millions of people can now openly talk and digest and heal and integrate their experiences. And beside the UFO topic, that millions of beings out there can actually turn into a life where they are welcoming in the joy of the universe, are welcoming in and living what the universe and what life is actually meant to be, designed to be, which is happy, a joyful ride. That is due to what we're doing. I want to make that very, very clear, because it can be easy to say like, yeah, all these things would have happened anyway. And funnily enough, in a way, yes, but in another way, no, right? Yes, we are already healed. Yes, we are already, we got all of this. But at the same time, we're just experiencing it, and every single move matters. And we've been not alone with this, although, Earth has a different distribution than other planets. It's easier to do that with trillions of beings in the universe, who I love very much. Earth is very special. I'm still waiting for our Chinese friends to join, Russian friends, people from Africa, very, very few people right now who've actually made it to Antarctica too, all these different places, these remote places in the world. I'm still waiting for them to form a unified planet. All these things are going to happen. They are unfolding. It's happening anyway, right? All of this is changing as we are changing. It can be very quick. But this has only happened because all of you have chosen to opt into these timelines. I want to take this moment to make that very clear and just give you a thank you from the universe, as me being the universe speaking to you right now. Thank you so much. Thank you. You've done it. You have done it. You're special. And one moment we're all going to see each other and we're going to give each other a high five for what we did on this planet. It's amazing. Anyway, very, very excited because Sarah, you and I, we have talked about this before. Right after Activate, lots of people on the We Love Hub, which is our social app, they have said like, Tim, I think we've done it. I think we've shifted. It feels like we've shifted. Let us know in the chat, by the way, if you feel like you guys can feel it. It's very interesting. And I said that to you, and let's see if we reveal the big news from the moon here on the YouTube live, or if we do that later on the We Love Hub or so. But there are big news coming. Gaia has also called me, and I'm going to talk about that in 2 weeks live on their channel. But you're going to get the infos first here, and first with We Love Hub. Things have shifted, and the producer of Sid Goldberg came to me a few days. Well, I came to you first, Sarah, and I said to you, like, something has changed. Like, I can feel these things, right?
Yeah.
And I also
the whole premise of Activate changed. Remember when we were talking about this, we're like, something has changed, and we changed Ticket to Ride because of that. So our old training, Ticket to Ride, was Ticket to Ride into level 4 consciousness. But the information I was receiving, Tim was receiving, is that a shift has already happened. And the conversation actually has to change, which is why Activate even took the direction it did. So we were getting this information and changing things based on it, because that's a different level of conversation to be like, hey, the shift is happening, prepare for the shift, to shifting the conversation to, okay, it's happened, our realities have shifted. Here is now how we all hold the line in our new level of consciousness. Like, here's how we actually stabilize this new reality field together. So this is amazing, Tim. Like, we were on it. Like, we were getting that information, and then to start getting those messages and the information about the moon after. That was really, really a special moment. That was right after we did what we did together. All of us did what we did together with Activate.
Yes, it was exactly after we did the stuff with Activate, which is fantastic. Right after, usually psychically, the realm has been very busy in the last few years, right? There was a lot of stuff going on. Right after we did Activate, there was like this moment of calm. And I've never felt that ever in years. Feeling it was so empty, it was so calm. I haven't heard from certain beings for quite some time. I haven't, I told you, I was coming to Sarah and saying, like, where are they? What's going on? Like, what happened? And then, feeling that there is like some type of calm energy from their position, telling, almost like it feels like we've made it. We jumped. We're already at it. We're already at the point. And there were so many moments of shift since 2019. It's half a decade. It's half a decade.
Half a century. What year is it?
gotta go. I have a meeting. It's been a few years, and the funny thing is, each and every time these things happened, I was informed, right? I made videos, I never released them, which is so weird, because I always thought, like, people really deserve to know in what phase they are. But then at the same time, I felt like why, everyone's dealing with these things on their own, in their own perspective. I think for me, it was more important to say, like, let's keep our eyes focused on where we want to go, and let's go. Come on, let's go through it. Come on, let's go. But every single time there was the quarantine, the big quarantine, where the planet was like, let's put the whole planet in a quarantine, which played out very weirdly. I gotta be honest, 2019, because I was informed, like, hey, there's gonna be the quarantine and this disclosure movement, and then suddenly, it literally was a quarantine, but in a very different way than expected. Then we had the washing. That was 1 or 2 years later, where suddenly it felt like there was like this, this wave of energy that was going through the planet and just releasing certain things. It was never like a linear stream, but it went up and like that. And then suddenly, like the shift really occurred. And it's gonna crystallize in more. I think for a lot of people, because when I was talking to Sid, he called me a few days later, and he was saying, Tim, there are things happening. It feels different for like the last 2 weeks or so. The world feels different. Earth feels different. What happened? Did something happen? And he was like, was that CERN? Because he was immediately, his brain went into like, is that the particle collider that has opened a different timeline? Did we jump and so on? But in reality, it's us. We did that together, and he was saying that he gets reports of things going on, like females with different cycles. He had reports of beings, since he's working for Gaia. He was investigating, looking into the situation that there are females who got pregnant without any contribution, and he's right now looking into these things. So there are magical things happening, right? People seeing flying objects, UFOs, encounters in real life, and it's crystallizing in. So something has shifted, and for us, Sarah, our mission has changed a little bit now, because we're not only going into like let's go, but we're now in like, okay, we crystallize it in completely right now, right?
Yeah, it's more like, let's now stabilize. I keep using that word stabilize, but like, do you guys know what I mean by that? So what I mean by stabilize is the frequency of being like, oh, this is the new reality field I'm living in. This is my new world. And what that can feel like is like old patterns coming up quite a bit, like more than normal, but then learning to be like, hold on, this is who I now am. This is how my world is. So it's a different frequency. Like before it was like, let's prepare for the shift. It's important to know about what's going to happen psychically, what's going to happen in this reality field, how to ground ourselves in it. And now it's like, okay, now let's let people know they've shifted, and here's how we stabilize in the reality field we want to live in. So it's so cool to notice that information coming and then see the catch up in our physical reality. That's like, okay, here's your evidence of this and this and this and this, and here's how all of this is happening. It's magnificent to witness.
I love it. I want to read some comments because there are so many people. By the way, JMC Booney is asking, do we still have access to the Activate meditation? Love to listen to it many more times. Thank you so much for doing that, because every time, factually, by fact, every time that we do these things, we double the effect. So all the stuff that we already done, which is amazing, just doubled one more time when you do it. So thank you so much. Yes, the Activate meditation is up. Just go to the We Love Hub WeLoveHub.com/activate, and then you gonna find that. I think the buttons we took away from the page, so you should have gotten an email saying, "Here's the link. Please bookmark this," because we took away the button. But both the recordings and the Sarah and I meditation are both available, and stay available until we do the next Activate, if ever. Who knows? But I think it was such an amazing thing. We should do it a few more times. Quickly want to check with everyone, because that is like our convincer moment. PJ Carmichael, I hope that's pronounced correctly. She's saying, yes, I felt the shift has happened. James Booney is saying, go humanity, go. Cypress, and yes, I felt a shift, a larger, more inclusive energy, more patiently, possibly. Brandy is saying, yes, there's been a shift in my reality. Definitely felt it. I can feel it. I feel time distortion. Definitely a shift has happened. So many people finally seeing the world the way I always have. That is big. I know you want to say something about that, Sarah. No longer feel alone in thinking the old 3D was wrong, that we could all live in love and unity. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. Sarah, what's your take on that?
That is so beautiful. And this is how we feel. You know, all of us are drawn to this because we felt the more beautiful world our hearts knew is possible. And that is what the world is catching up to. Now, what I would love to do for some of the people that have commented like what they've noticed, like the time distortion or like noticing a shift in your life. Would any of you be willing to share like what you've been feeling with that? Because I saw another comment that's beautiful soul share here. I think Anna shared here, I must have missed this shift. I am so sure you haven't. You're here with us right now. There's no way to have missed it because we're all here together. We're all sharing this reality field. What I would say is that sometimes we need a different way to see the evidence of the shift in our life. And then once we see the evidence of it, it starts expanding. This reality is emerging through us. So once we see how other people describe the shift, we start noticing like, oh, I've actually noticed that in my life, and I've noticed this in my life, and I've noticed this. But it happens when we talk to each other about it. When we talk to each other about, this is how I've noticed it. This is how I've felt it. This is how it's been in my world. The more we can share that with one another, the more we can talk about that, the more people start to see the evidence of them being in a different reality field. Right, Tim? Those are those convincers that are really important.
Yes, I love that you bring that up because it was so subtle. It is freaking interesting how everything unrolled. It is so subtle. The thing about that is, and I had this talk to Sid Goldberg. Again, he's an Oscar-winning producer, and he wants stuff, like cinematic. And you know what I mean? He's so cinematically thinking. So when he's thinking about the shift, he felt that his whole life he dedicated himself to All Shift Happily now in his own way through everything. We've been friends and we're doing things, and it felt so destined too. I really love this dude, but he's like focused on the cinematics of it. What he's expecting is like somehow millions of crafts are coming in, and somehow they also bring music, right? Okay, they play the cinematic music. There's waves of people, little flags are going. I don't know. Like, the thing about that is, this is not really how the universe works and how everything works, right? It's more of every one of us somehow coming to this moment where everything is different. Like our own perspective too. Certain things that we thought will never ever shift and change, we suddenly are confronted with like, oh, it's been done. It's already happened, And that's the fascinating thing about that. And I oftentimes when I'm talking to Sid, I almost like feel a little bit guilty of not being able to present him that type of cinematic event that he wants to have, right? And I think he's gonna have plenty of those moments, coming up, because again, there's more people seeing things, there's more videos that are being brought out. We are on the precipice of like getting really interesting technology in, but besides all of that, it is such a subtle thing, to the degree. And it's not done yet. That's the funny thing, right? Even though we know it's done, because if one consciousness has experienced that, and we have a lot of people in the chat who've experienced that the world is different right now. If one consciousness has experienced that, then naturally the universe has done it. It's here, right? But not everyone is experiencing the subtleties of that. A lot of people, have certain expectations. They are waiting for something. There are millions out there who are very distracted by other things, right? They might not experience the shift or even have a concept about what the shift actually is. They might just, be very focused on their day-to-day life. But ultimately, that consciousness has experienced that right now. And things are changing, and the world is now different than it has ever been. We're not at the end of the road. It is just now we made the jump. We made the jump into a world where we can do these things, where we can be together, where we see these crafts, where we know that we're with other beings. It's the world is shifting and changing in its own parameters too. Like something that you oftentimes speak about is, for example, how people change and shift their businesses, right? Their day-to-day life. lots of people who make decisions because they say like, I want to do something, I want to contribute to the world, but I want to do it in a way that I feel represented, that I feel good, that I feel like I'm doing something worthwhile. Can you elaborate on that? How those things will shift in the world as well?
It's changing in ways that are like hard to perceive if we're not looking for it. But I have the gift and the ability to be able to work with people in all different fields, come to work with me in my one-on-one spaces and Ticket to Ride and all different spaces that we're offering this work. And I have some people who are surgeons. I have some people who are, researchers in leading fields in America, some people leading the way in AI. All of them are focused on the same thing, which all of them are anchoring into their heart and soul. And they're asking the question, what is the world asking for? How can I live in alignment with my soul mission and let that be the center point for what I do? People are no longer willing to say that they're going to put themselves or their lives aside. Like everyone is so focused on like, how can I anchor into my joy? Let that lead me. Let the joy of this universe lead us. And how can we bring forward into the world what we want to see more of? So I have people who are heart researchers trying to look into more of the quantum sphere of like the non-visible spectrum of being able to read the heart in new ways. Like it is happening in every field. It is happening everywhere in the world where people are waking up and being more soul-led. And it's fantastic. It's changing the world of business, science, all of it is shifting. It's amazing because I'm getting to see like the back end of these leaders do that real time.
I know, it's fantastic. Let's define what it actually means to go from a level 3 planet into a level 4 planet.
That's huge, yeah.
It is huge. It is so huge. The history. Let's go into the history. I want to change the music to go into the history.
There's some comments here too for people sharing. So for people sharing how it feels. So that could be cool to go into too.
I love that. I see those things. So let's talk about that. Let's go into the history, everyone, of planet Earth. I wish I could like draw a PowerPoint presentation from mid-air right now.
One day.
So,
the pointer.
Outside of time, at a time when planet Earth was not planet Earth, but rather a cluster in the ocean of everything, we're talking about a level 5 planet. Planet Earth already was at a level 5 planet when the Guardians of Earth realized that something was wrong. Something was weird with the planet. Somehow consciousness did not evolve on planet Earth, which was not planet Earth at that time, in the way that it was supposed to do, supposed to evolve. So they were looking at it and they were confused because it was creating these kind of like bad vibes, right? The whole planet and everything is creating. That's a little bit too much music. I need a producer who's doing the music. I'm doing that myself right. So the way that at level 5, outside of time, but let's say millions of years, right? It's far back. Planet Earth was developing really weirdly. And then suddenly the Guardians were noticing that and were looking at the vibrancy and were thinking like, oh, there's something wrong on planet Earth. It just creates weird vibes. What is going on? So what they did is they zoomed in and set back the evolution of planet Earth into a level 3 reality, which is like kind of like looking at the planet through a microscope of consciousness, right? Zooming into it and then stretching it, and suddenly you have time. So, which is great because when you have time, you have a little bit more time to look into things and to analyze what's actually going on. So they wanted to figure out, is the weird vibe that is coming from planet Earth something that humans have done themselves, and do they need a little bit of a course correction or a little bit of inspiration? Or is that something where people should be a little bit more concerned because it might be a parasite, like a virus or something like that, right? In terms of dimensionality. So they were looking into that. They were seeing all these little happy human fellows, right? Nicely doing things, nicely celebrating life, nicely exploring. Times where, if you look into the Sumerian kings list, right, where kings were living for 40,000 years and so on, and then they realized there's something weird. Certain tribes were attacking one another and were fighting, and went into that country and took over this country and creating wars and so on, and people were like, well, that's not cool, and that's not how consciousness in a unified universe should behave. What's going on? Something is weird. Lots of these beings just went off. We had a big flood, which I think even science right now is admitting that it was there. There was never a doubt, I think. But finally, we can talk openly about it. Before the last Earth shift, there was a gigantic flood. It's just what it is. Everyone's talking about that. All ancient people or ancient tribes, all books, everyone. We have even like scientific evidence that it happened and so on. And suddenly, humans were only living for 80 years, and these kings list was going to factually existing kings that are now only lasted for 30, 50 years. So what happened? Something was weird, something was wrong, and then they figured it out quite recently, actually, which is very funny. It took thousands of years to actually figure that out. There was the installation. You've probably heard me speak about that. You've probably heard us speak about that. A malevolent system that was designed to hinder the evolution of humanity. And oh boy, did they hinder the evolution of humanity on this planet. My gosh. So a few years ago, we all kind of started and we all worked on these things. Many people on the planet, many beings outside of the planet, groups, and frequentials, interdimensionals, and so on. Everyone worked together because what we all want is our, evolution to be nice, sacred, joyful, and amazing. And right now we are in the moment where all that has been, has been healed. That's pretty amazing. It has been set to a point where now the evolution can grow in a healed way. That doesn't mean that we still, that we're ready and done and everything is now ending. It still leaves us with a lot of stuff that we have to heal in ourselves. I think for a lot of people right now, things come up, right, Sarah? What do you think?
Yeah, this is why I say it's a stabilization time. I really love one that was so fascinating and very interesting. So thank you for sharing that moment with us. And, I read someone's comment here, JMC, I read her comment here. She mentioned something that is like pivotal to like exactly what is happening with the shift in consciousness. She said, triggers, old stuff will come up suddenly, but she processes it really quickly, now with more humor and less intensity. So this is such a representation of us in the process, human consciousness in the process of no longer dipping into the old reality field. So the old reality field was very much so brought into this experience based on fear, based on scarcity, based on lack, based on competition, which would cause us to get triggered, which would cause us to get fearful, which would cause us to dip into the old paradigm. And what we're learning to do is remember that we're all okay. We're all held. We're all gonna be okay. We're held here. And we're remembering that it's safe to be us. It's safe to follow our hearts. It's safe to build the world we want to see. And the other biggest shift, one big shift is this, exactly what JMC said here. I think it's Jennifer, maybe it might be Jennifer. It's exactly what she's saying here, where she's no longer impacted by the old triggers, by the things that used to bother her, by the things that used to, and this is us. I can say we are no longer impacted in the same way because we've evolved. We've had some distance. We've learned. Our knowledge has gained. We've learned to be more safe within ourselves. So these are big moments where we're learning to stabilize in a different level of consciousness and no longer dip into old energies of fear or scarcity or lack or competition. This is huge. This is really, really huge because this world isn't happening to us. It's emerging through us. So something like this, where we're thinking, how is someone not being triggered a representation of the shift? The shift is an emerging through our own consciousness. It's being born through the way we perceive our world, the way we show up in our world. So when someone's no longer triggered, and even if they're triggered in a moment and they come back to center, they come back to joy, they come back to the way they want to see the world, the love in their hearts, that's a different imprint we're putting on the planet. That's a big, big representation of the shift. That's huge. And the things that are coming up a lot with this as well is that it's like in moments where the old stuff comes up, we have this a little bit more space and we're saying, wait a minute, who am I choosing to be? Am I choosing to lean into fear? Or am I choosing to remember that I'm a creator and can decide how this unfolds? I can decide who I want to be in the face of this. So these are big moments where we're all like, wait a minute, this is emerging through me, and I can have a decision in who I want to be in this world and what I want to radiate into the world.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to quickly read Anna's comment, because she said, Tim, you said the Andromedans went through something similar. Then it should have not taken them so long to figure out that the same was happening on planet Earth. Am I late? No, you're not. Welcome to the party. Yeah, that is true, and it's should is such a funny word, right? Because it implies that something is outside of how it's supposed to be. Yeah, but the interesting thing about that, I think, is the way that the installation was set up was that it kept itself isolated and it kept itself intact because millions of humans were tapping into that without consciousness, but because so many millions were doing that, right? Like being, how do I frame that in a nice way, right? Millions of people were living and were used for holding the installation together, you know, computer games, videos, you know, news and so on, all kind of like working on consciousness of people. Its language has been alterated, you know. It was not about like figuring out that something was wrong. That was pretty obvious thousands of years ago. It is more about like, what can we do? What can we do surgically in order to make the process go well, without even like overstepping certain borders as well? Because you know, the idea of like humanity has to grow by themselves and everyone has to be one's own healer. It's so important, right? So things have happened, you know, it was a process and it took time. Andromeda, the liberation, even though time works different depending where you are located in the universe, right? Relative time observer phenomena and so on. But even the liberation of Andromeda is not so far away. That's like, if you know, I think they might be in the second generation of that or so. Like it's so fresh for them as well. So they probably, you know, for them things sank in more. And we gotta be at that point too, right? What does it even mean to make the shift? It means that we are now approaching infinity. We are not only approaching infinity, we're becoming aware of infinity. And that shows through all these disciplines. When Sarah, when you were saying the heart surgeons and so on, or psychology, or politicians, or whatever, when they are like somehow thinking about, wait a minute, it's not a localized phenomenon. We are infinitive, on an infinitive spectrum. Energy is everywhere. consciousness is non-localized, and so on. What do these things all mean? That is the first step. It doesn't mean that it all crystallized in already. It can happen very, very quickly. Someone in the comments said that she completely lost her ability to be angry or furious, and it just happened, you know? And that's what I mean. That's the funny thing. We can wake up in the morning and somehow our life and our character and everything that we thought was so not unbearable, and no one could overcome that. With one snap, it's done. With one snap, it's healed.
It can feel like it takes a long time until it doesn't. You know, with any of our transformation, any of our processes, it feels like we're really doing it, taking a while, taking a long, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, the shift has happened in our own lives, in this world. And then it becomes a stabilization process. Then it becomes, okay, now we're catching up with the nervous system, the body, the emotions, the systems on the planet. What's really profound is when we understand that how we experience the quietude of our own consciousness and our own relationship to life is mirrored in this universe, in this world. So when we have a question of, well, if the Andromeda shifted, why haven't we done it quicker? What we can ask is, well, what is the process when we're really changing a behavior in our own lives? What is a process when we're changing a pattern? Because now we think about that, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without. We think about the microcosm of how our own relationship to life and consciousness is, and we can have a huge understanding of how the macrocosm of how bigger systems shift too, and how they move and how they change, where it can feel like it takes a long time until it doesn't. That question is awesome here, Tim. That you just put up there. Yeah.
Think of like habits, right? The most obvious, I think everyone does, is like being on Instagram first thing in the morning, right? Like everyone knows that, and everyone feels, you know, weird about this fact, you know, like waking up and thinking like, oh, where's my phone? And then doing this, right? Everyone knows these things. But what you were pointing out is so right. Just having the awareness of something needs to shift, but then making the step of installing healthy routines, new habits, right? Everyone should be on the We Love Hub. We should have a billion people there, and everyone should be there daily, because it's a fantastic platform with many, many beautiful people. But there's the thing, right? We got to make these steps. We got to make the choices. And here's where all of you came in. All of you, and we, and me, and, you know, Sarah and everyone else. So if you're thinking about the installation itself, the way that it has perpetuated itself through blind spots and over thousands of years by repetitive unconscious behavior. That's the funny thing. One behavior that is like conscious and with precision and direction, right? Let's go. That can override it all. But a very unconscious behavior that has been done millions and millions of times over a certain amount of time, repetitions and so on, that still has an impact just because of its sheer size of beings doing that unconsciously. And that's the fantastic thing, news about that is that us coming together and putting energy into our individual fields, and through that into the collective field, that has so much more impact. The universe is rewarding that big time. It is taking that, because the universe is doing evaluations, right? It puts value to certain things. And it says like, okay, if someone does something without free will or being very conscious about it, then okay, it has a little bit of an impact. But if someone does something with determination and with direction and with an idea, then that exponentially explodes in its power. And that's where we come in. Think about the planet being so isolated, almost created. It did create like almost an impenetrable barrier around itself, where humans were in their own sorrow, in their own nonsense, right? But here's the thing. You beings, you there, everyone here, I know you're on level 4 at least, because otherwise you wouldn't you wouldn't even have these debates here, you know.
Yeah.
You feel the truth. And you know what happens when these beings come into the planet and they are like creating and vibing with what's outside? Suddenly the planet that had this installation, this surface around it, right? Suddenly it has not only pressure from the outside, but from the inside as well. And the inside is vibrating with the outside. And that is what brought down Jericho's walls. We did that together with these beings that are surrounding us, and ultimately the universe per se, which that is what we are. We are the universe. We know that our universe and our path has to be joyful, but we gotta, as the observers, as the expression of the universe, we gotta take our decisions, and we have to make a big stand have a big stand, a very determined view about what we want in our lives. And everyone has done a fantastic job here. And now it's about living in that and being fully in it, crystallizing it in and grounding in that particular reality.
And the amazing thing too about this concept and this question of what caused the shift, and answering, we.
Yes.
We
Yes.
did it. We did it. Each one of us matter. Each one of us who set our hearts on love over fear, who learned knowledge, important knowledge about this universe that required each and every one of us to look beyond the norm. Everyone here has set their heart on the awareness of truth, on the awareness of learning about this reality, on the awareness of understanding this reality field. And that's going outside the norm. That's huge. And each one of us who did this made a huge change in the world, and are continuing to, as this world is starting to be emerged anew, is starting to shift. As the old is crumbling, a new is being born, and it's being born through each one of our hearts. It's
Beautiful. It is we. The we
It's we.
wins.
We win.
All shit happily now. Yeah, it's beautiful. And that's I think we make that as a big announcement here. That is where Sarah and my work in this world shifts as well, right? Because now it is about us making aware that we are living in this new world, in this new reality where infinity is open, and that means we have literally a lot of choices to go from here, and a lot of choices to create something. And something that you and I are doing in August 23rd is the next round of Ticket to Ride. I know a lot of you out there who already got their ticket, because the beautiful thing is getting the ticket once, and then you have a sturdy community to grow with and to be supported, to have Sarah and me as mentors and co-riders, so to speak. We're doing these things 3 months, every round, multiple times, up to multiple times per year. We changed the concept. We changed everything, because it used to be Ticket to Ride into level 4 consciousness. Now it's about the rising, right? We want to rise, and I want the triumph. I want for everyone here, I want the triumph, right? I know that we have experienced mud, and I know that some of us still have bruises. I have my bruises. Yeah, I'm doing who has felt that? Yeah, I did, right? I have bruises. So I have to put some plasters on, band-aids if you're from North America. But I want this moment where we are stepping outside of the mud and we're raising the fist into the universe, not of anger, not of ego, but with a humble knowing that we have made this triumph all together. We did it. And that's what Ticket to Ride is about. Join us there. Sarah, what's your take?
I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so beautiful. And when Tim was talking about the washing before, like we had one phase, which is like the awakening, this awareness that this world's got to shift. And then there was this washing phase. What I perceive, like the personal experience of the washing, was, for a lot of people, it was very isolating. And some people are still in like the tail end of that. You're already not, because we're all here together online, but it could when the washing was happening, the awakening was happening for many of us, it could feel like a very isolating experience where like old relationships are falling away, new ones haven't fully come in. And here's the thing, to really activate our power as a humanity is to realize our power in doing this together, is to realize that when you sit down and do a meditation, you're not alone anymore in the world of building the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible, that we are truly in this together. And so something I love about Ticket to Ride is, yes, it's for our personal development. It is for our continued rising in building our most beautiful lives, knowing that we don't have to fight and struggle like we used to. Like, it actually gets to be full of ease and joy, and we get to grow differently now. It's full of that. It's full of training our psychic powers, which is epic. It's full of being able to transform in ourselves in a new way that's just a little lighter, a little more gentle as we're transforming in life. It's a play in our reality field. So we're all playing together and creating our most beautiful world. And what I see that is so important, which we don't publicly talk about very often, is the activation of knowing how powerful we are together and truly coming into Ticket to Ride with that together. You know, when we go into these moments when we're sitting in school, having the lesson, you know, Professor Tim comes out or Professor Sarah comes out, we have this moment where we deconstruct this reality field, have rememberings that activate dormant DNA. We remember as we're sitting in that classroom, we activate new levels of our abilities. Then we realize that we're not stepping out into our world alone. We're doing this together. And that's huge. And that warms my heart. And it is so important when we really think about us really building a more beautiful world our hearts want to see, that we're in this together. That's a different level of power.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It is so fantastic because think of that. You are by design a being that is isolated and alone in your decisions and in your journey and in your evolution. There is this illusion on planet Earth where people think, oh, you know, someone else has already, you know, set up an official office for that, right? There's an institution for that or something. But that is not the reality, that the system here is not as optimized as on other planets where indeed they have systems for that, right? We're coming from a time where the system was figuring out their way as well, right? Where we're now at a moment where entheogenic plants like cannabis are being treated with respect. Finally, my gosh, we're now coming at a point where we are, you know, taking the heart essence of teachers who came here, who were, you know, we are now at a moment where beings are choosing what their heart is motivating them. But the planet needs the system needs some time, you know. It's something that needs revelations over and over and over. So we're doing that. We're doing it. Here it is. You know, I think we should get tax money for that, by the way. I've said it.
I agree.
Really said it. I agree. Okay.
All of us. Thank you for coming to Earth and helping uplift the consciousness on the planet. Here is some tax dollars.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone here. Thank you
like the Grace do that with their system and other systems doing these things so well. Yeah. Anyway, but we're on planet Earth right now. We got to work with what we have. With that, Ticket to Ride has opened doors for beings with a unique, one-of-a-kind space. A space where they're welcomed, where they get to be with these revelations for months and changing practically their lives. And that is the amazing thing, right? They changed their jobs. We had people that used, you know, very advanced psionic techniques in Ticket to Ride. We had people that just out of nowhere manifested money, like big sums of money, right? Like how beautiful is that? And that is where I'm actually very happy, because the universe is offering and rewarding us where the system still needs a little bit of time. The universe is saying like, oh, you thought about joining Ticket to Ride? You know what? Here's the reward. tenfolded what you invested in that, and that's brilliant. And then being with the community, knowing that we do this multiple times, up to multiple times per year. My terms and condition has to say that, because sometimes Sarah and I are very busy, but up to multiple times, and then being together in that is amazing. And I'm so excited to see all these people again. I know that there are people here in the chat and the comments who are already looking forward to that. It was so beautiful because we created this page. It's a lifetime thing, right? Everyone who's joined any round of Ticket to Ride, they're all coming back together again. And we have this page, and then people were very, very, very eager to know that they have actually clicked the right buttons, which is so adorable. So it shows so much enjoyment. Yeah, it's a lot of emails to answer then for my team, but other than that, it's great because it's like I have all the steps, I did it all on my page. It says I have the ticket. I just want to confirm, do I have the ticket? And then we're all like, yes, yes, that's it. And then times multiple.
So beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm very
so
excited.
And I'm excited for like the next level of the teachings to come through, where now we're talking at this different level of one, we do talk through the Earth history. We share more, Tim shares more about that, but like, let's play with activating our psionic abilities at a new level, with seeing how beautiful life can get together. Like we are rising together in Ticket to Ride the Rising. I'm excited.
I love how you brought that in. There's a Family Guy episode where he says, "I love it when they say the title," and then someone comes in and says, "Like, well, Peter, aren't you a real family man? A family guy, family man." Oh my gosh, that is the. Anyway, yes, it's the Rising, and I'm very excited for that. Everyone, if you like to join us, there's a new button on the We Love Hub. Probably gonna stay there, maybe not. We've figured that out. But if you click that, you can do it. And I think there's an early bird at the moment, right, Sarah?
Yeah, there's an early bird right now for $500 off to be able to join. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting news for everyone. So yeah, join us, get your ticket once, and then be with us for centuries to come and multiple lifetimes too. And the funny thing is, like in Ticket to Ride, I already felt that there are beings that are supposed to evolve together, and we brought beings together, and I'm very, very happy about that. And it's a whole new different level of doing that together, because you and I have arrived, you and I have learned and have risen, right?
We've been working on together for 3 years now. It's amazing.
I know. It is super amazing. And for the very first time, Ticket to Ride has shifted to such an institution. I really love it. I'm very excited for the next round. We have a whole since it's on the We Love Hub, it's integrated in our app. It will be a really fantastic time, and I can see that there are so many people excited, and that's what's great. We do have a podcast coming up, Sarah and I, which I am going to click on release right after this. So if you'd like to, just in about half an hour or so, we are going to be live. Not live. We're going to how's that called? Like a
premiere the podcast?
Yeah, what's that called on YouTube again? Like a
premiere.
Yeah, a premiere.
Premiere.
For all the Frenchies out there. By the way, where are all the Frenchies? We have lots of beautiful Canadians. I want to see more French people in our community. Come on, everyone. La France. Come on, join us. Allez-y. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about some interesting things on the podcast too. It is mostly about a new role in stabilizing these things. I'm very excited to get that on YouTube. So yeah, if you like to watch a little bit more after this, it's a very entertaining but also deeply informational context, right?
Yeah, it was a beautiful podcast episode. I'm excited to watch it back too. It feels like it's been some time since then, since now a week feels like a lifetime goes by. So much happens in 1 week. So I'm excited to watch it back too with everyone in a little bit. Yes, we will meet together in person someday. We will. And it's a special moment when we do. It is.
I still want to do an event with Sarah in person.
Yes, we will.
I've been pushing her so much, everyone. You can't believe that. I'm like, Sarah, we should get and do something. We should get an event location and bring these people together, and then we should do magic. We should do
I agree.
magic.
I agree. It's just, timelines, commitments. There's a lot happening. We had to do Ticket to Ride first. We will, though.
Yeah.
We will.
It's very funny. I think the beautiful thing about collaborating with us both is how much we taken on polarities together, but we balance them so nicely. Like I'm very much like the directional, overviewer person who's like, okay, this is how it's gonna look in the next 2 million years. We got to do this. We got to step.
He literally means 2 million years, guys. He has plans for a long time. I've never met anyone who has plans for so long.
Yeah, I mean, we're here for a long time. I mean, not here on this planet, luckily, but in the universe, we get to see a lot of other places too. Because I want to see the 7 moons of Sonora and other places too. I want to see that. And sit in the crystal bath of these the raptor species and their bath, their volcanic bath with these crystals inside and nice and clean water, and you're sitting there and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Let's go, let's do it. But Sarah is like, she's like the you literally this alignment pole, which is sometimes very funny because I'm like, Sarah, 2 weeks ago we said we go live, let's go live, and Sarah's like, but I don't feel it right now.
That's not how I talk. I'm very big on energetic alignment. I'm very big on it, so I make sure our energies are in good places. I have our backs on that level.
And I'm very big at pushing energies until they squeeze and fit in nicely and tightly. That's my thing. Anyway, oh my gosh, is that Frenchie? La bonne baronne Vintage. Bonsoir. This sounds very nice. I hope you're from France. If so, let us know where. I'm very excited about that. Nicholas is saying, by the way, thank you so much for joining in, Nicholas. And
hi, Nicholas.
Yeah, we did a little bit of like a collective psionic healing moment because during Activate, Nicholas wasn't feeling so good, and apparently he's doing well better now. So hopefully you met that. Hopefully you noticed that. That would be awesome to all meet up with everyone. Yes, so agreed. Astral meetup, locked it in. Yeah, but let's do it. Let's find a cool spot somewhere in the world.
We already decided on the spot. Do we say it?
No.
Not yet. Okay, not yet. We'll share soon.
I want to see that Sarah is like very, very aligned with that before we announce it. Yeah. Anyway, everyone, it's been a pleasure. There's a lot more happening on the world. We're not done here yet. We all gotta level up things. I'm very proud of all of you. I gotta be very honest. Sarah and I have been talking quite a lot here. But I gotta say that I'm very, very proud of all of you. You're fantastic souls. The universe is proud of you for being here, for having shown up in the Earth Show, and having done, just by being here, just by vibrating into the field, that has changed something. And then showing up to the community life, putting out mental energies, right? Those people here that are in STAR, where you guys are learning psychic abilities, where you're using that in order to create the STAR mental field, but what we're doing together, it's amazing, because there are so many features that we can learn, right? We can activate so much inside of our bodies. There's so much dormant potential in infinity. Think of that. And there are so many beings out there who have proven that, right? One of the most effective species or biology type are insects, for example. Insectoids out there who've done fantastic things, right? When they're looking at a problem, they just grow something out of their own body and solve it. And I think that is amazing. Now, not everyone needs to grow wings. We all find our own specialties. That's why in STAR we have all these modules. You all are doing a fantastic job because you're activating something. If you've ever heard about the 1000th monkey principle, right? We've seen people who already did telekinesis. We've telepathy messages that are coming in through STAR and so on. This is how we activate something in DNA. All of you have a role in all of this. We make sure that all of you have a role in this. In STAR, we are collecting these new genetic traits. We are building on our psychic abilities. Agora, I'm informing people every month on whatever we're going to explore from the decade of stuff that I went through. Being here or being on the We Love Hub, and just being nice with one another and supportive with one another and showing one another we are the universe, we are social, we're friendly, we're peaceful, and there's so much joy in the universe that we can activate for one another and showing that to one another. I'm so proud of all of you. So proud of all of you. Mm-hmm. F. Shagar is here. She's from Iran. I love that. Yeah. And we have a lot of empathy for him. Yeah. Yeah. You're doing a fantastic job, because just you being there, and probably, I don't know, we've asked last time if there are any more Persians. I don't know if there's many more people from the Iran who've joined Ticket to Ride, or Shift Happily Now. But you just being there and vibrating in that field, that's an act of service. We're all doing an act of service just by being. Isn't that fantastic? It's also it's heartwarming, and also like such a beautiful thing that just your presence matters so much in the universe. So much.
Remarkable.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for these things. Lots of new things coming up very, very soon. Sarah and I, we've been filming some podcasts, turning and twisting her living room into a living studio. That was fun. And these things are gonna come out as well, very, very much. Nicholas is saying, keep your head up, Iran. And Morgan is sending a heart. Pia is saying, I'm so proud of you two and so grateful to be in this community. Merci. Thank you so much, Pia. Thank you so much.
Ooh, Brandy.
Brandy is asking about the messages from the moon. Yeah. How does it feel? Shall we share it here? I'm gonna make a video for the We Love Hub, very likely. We do have a section on the We Love Hub that is called News from the Community, and I had a feeling that this is important to create, but I haven't used it so much, and I thought about my own role, being informed about these different steps and things that are going on behind the curtain. And I first of all love you so much, because it's so trusty and so beautiful. I've never really shared, the intensity and the depth of everything that was going on. But just because I also don't want to overwhelm people, I want to make sure that everyone has the best experience, and that I'm, kind of like filtering for my community. And but sometimes I thought like, oh, if I only had like a space where I could, update the community on what's going on with energies, what's going on in the world, what's going on, and so on. And I think we have on the We Love Hub. It's called News from the Community.
It's fantastic that you're doing that. So you're going to share the more information about that then on the moon. Can you share some of it now? Just a little.
I think we should do that. So think about this, everyone. Going back into history time.
We love it. Let's
Professor
go. We're here for it. Let me pull in my seat and get ready.
Oh my gosh. When AI is even further, integrated in these things, I'm gonna have like a PowerPoint that's showing up as an animation behind me. Let's go into history. I'm gonna reveal something. Your ears are gonna wobble. So when planet Earth was in this level 5 reality, and the Guardians of Earth figured that something weird was happening in the vibrations, there was a time when the planet was not the solid planet geo-rock ball that it seems to be right now. It was more a multi-dimensional layered reality that was quite complex. So what they did again was like stretching the thing so that life forms of the level 3 class, which is basically life forms that look into the mirror and they have an I identity. That is all that it means when we're talking about a level 3 consciousness. There was a time when there was no moon, right? The moon has a few very interesting specs anyway. It's the only moon that is perfectly round. It's the only moon that is perfectly aligned with the distance of the sun in the center point. It is just the same ratio as the sun in distance and so on. Some other things, it's quite hollow and so on and so on. So there's a lot of anomalies coming from the moon and surrounding the moon that we all know of. But there was also a time when the moon was not on planet Earth, not in the skies. We do have ancient texts talking about that, and we should treat these ancient texts more seriously. I think we should, and we are at a time now where we should take these texts more seriously, knowing that all these, not all of them, but quite a lot of these ancient texts have actually proven to be very, very right. And there's a reason for that. These ancient tribes were not trying to fool next generations, but they had good intentions writing down some of these stories. So some tribes remember the time when there was no moon, and suddenly one day after, something appeared in the skies, and the children of the sky, of the stars, as they are called in so many, many, many texts, have placed the moon there. And by fact, the moon is, we could say, a technology, right? It changes the frequential outcome of the planet. And again, we were talking about a situation on level 5 where the Guardians were looking at, and they saw that the vibrancy was weird. So the ocean, the frequency there was not as great as it's supposed to be. So what they did was bringing in the moon, and the moon acts as a shield. It's literally a shield of the planet. So far, so good. Normstream science is admitting that is true, because the moon is shielding off, the planet, and has taken a lot of like physical impact over the 32 years that it's in the sky or more, whatever. I'm just kidding. I'm making this number up. I was making a joke, but the rest is true. Like the moon is shielding off the planet of a lot of the impact and so on, but it is changing the frequencies. That is the reason why we have tides. That is the reason why females feel that in their hormonal cycle, right? They align with the moon phases and so on. The moon has an active influence on how we perceive the frequentials and the wave patterns of this electromagnetic ocean that we are a selection of, an interpretation of. And the moon was meant to be a really positive institution, something that was brought here with the best intentions. Over some time, the moon had been infected, let's say it that way, or at least, had the sources of what was going wrong on planet Earth was kind of like on the moon. Which is one of the reasons why there is such an interest in the moon, right? In the 70s, everyone was about like, hey, let's go to the moon. Let's, everyone was interested in these things and so on, 60s, 70s. Not because it's easy, but because it's hard. We do these things and the others. I've never figured out, by the way, why JFK was saying and the others in the middle of this transformative, crazy speech. What other things? What is he even referring to? We're going to the moon and we do these other things that I'm not saying. I'm not telling you how. Anyway, basically the moon being infected and kind of like the headquarters of what was going wrong on the planet, and that has changed quite apparently. There has been action has been taken. So the moon has been cleared out, which is very interesting because Sid Goldberg, again, texted me a few days and he's saying like, all these cycles, there are women all over the place and their cycles are going crazy and something feels different. It feels empty, what's going on and so on. So these are the big news. I'm very likely going to make another video about this with more information because we are still on mainstream territory here and I want to respect that. So if you're interested in the entirety of the story, please join us on the We Love Hub, and I'm going to get you a lot more information. Let me put in the QR code so that everyone can join. There we go. Oops, Sarah. I'm gonna put me on full screen for 1 second. I'm gonna get back to you in one moment. There we go. Because otherwise I get comments saying, Tim, the QR code was covering your guest. I know. I can't change it. It's the software we're using. This is the QR code. If you like to, everyone, and you haven't been in the welovehub.com yet, it is our social board. If you want to get rid of the doom scrolling and the bad habits of social media, it is free. It is completely free. We've invested a lot, but it's completely free because it is important and it's the right step and the right thing to do. So get your phones out. If you don't have an account yet, scan the QR code, go onto the We Love Hub, and at best, contribute multiple times, at best every day, because there are beautiful people. If you're experiencing something, right? If you feel like your world has shifted, share that with the community. It's called teaching and learning, because when you're putting that onto the We Love Hub, you know that there are hundreds and hundreds of people who are beautiful and who are soulful and amazing people, and these people are going to amplify the good energies that you've experienced, right? And if you read something, lots of people using the like feature quite a few people who are commenting and so on, and all these comments are so sweet. It is really, really special, and it's a good habit. So I would love to invite you into our free space, thewelofehub.com. Get your phone out. You still have 3 seconds. Go on. I'm talking about you. Yes, you on the couch. Get your phone. Yes, that's the phone. Now the camera icon. Point that at here. Click the link. Get your account. 3, 2, 1. There we go. And we're back with our guest tonight, Sarah Ziller. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, hello.
Quickly bringing out the good news. I think that's pretty special, everyone. Again, the full story of the moon. I'm going to make a video where I have some time to think about my words and be very respectful to everyone. I do want to, from the depth of my heart, everyone who's contributed to the shift and everyone who's contributed to shifting and who came together because we all agree upon the universe being the sacred process and being this amazing life, and everyone who dared to come to planet Earth and live a life here, so that all these forces have these anchor points and so on. You all have done a good job. You've done a fantastic job, and I'm very, very grateful. I'm beyond grateful for this to have happened. And now we got to build. Now that the everything that was hindering is out of the place, out of the way. We got to build, everyone, and that involves everyone here, right? The number one thing that you got to learn is we all have our spark. We all have something in our heart that makes us motivates us to be alive, and that can be you with a social aspect. It can be someone out there who is motivated by their kids, by their grandkids, because they want to be the best grandma or the best grandpa for the generation of children and so on. Just know that exploring, finding the spark in your soul that motivates your life. We call that divine love, for the lack of a better word. Find that. Then, second of all, garden it, right? And third of all, Sarah and I, we would love to welcome you into Ticket to Ride so we can garden all together. Right, Sarah?
Yes. Tim, Jeff, and Mara are in the comments. I think you'd like to see that.
No way. No way Jeff is here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, Jeff. Oh,
Hi.
Jeff, I love you.
Oh, Mara.
I said it.
Mara.
I said
Mara.
Oh, that's Mara.
Yay. Hi.
Mara, I respect you. Because I'm friends with your husband. And you're a fantastic being. That's why. Thank you so much for joining. Please let Jeff know that I'm talking a lot about him, and I really want to give him a phone call as soon as possible. Maybe he can do that too. We did have a few death cases in my Earth family, so I had to take care of that and take care of beings. It's kind of like an interesting situation, right? When suddenly these roles are shifting, and suddenly one who used to be the kid now takes on a different role, and suddenly death sometimes reveals that these beings who've played roles as mothers and fathers and so on, they're all just children of the universe, and they are sometimes scared, and they sometimes need a hand and so on. So I had to hold some hands. Makes me a bit emotional. But anyway, let him know. Jeff is working. He might finish soon. Okay, cool. I would love to. Morgan is saying, Jeff, I wouldn't have found Tim without you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Nicholas. It is, Yeah, I'm I'm aware of, like, how death works, and how that is a continuation, and I'm aware that death is actually something where we have an option, right? It's an option for us to shift realities. I've been friends with people in the Afterlife projects, where we were talking about the continuation of life, and what the big death is, and so on. But it's still an interesting thing, because planet Earth, talking about the system once more, has no real anchor for people to deal with these situations. It's a very weird thing, and yeah, that's some, we don't have a book of death. We don't, like the Egyptians had. We don't have a cultural institution that is like taking care of the spiritual needs and so on. I know that death is a continuation, and it's death is doing, the Shiva aspect of the universe is doing an important thing, because there are certain things in the universe that we don't want to continue with certain things forever and ever and ever. We want to purify, we want to filter certain things, and that is where death is doing a good job, but doesn't have the best reputation on planet Earth. And that's not cool. I mean, it's literally something that the universe has come up with as a mechanism, and we gotta see the grandness, the respectfulness in certain institutions. We don't have to choose these things, right? We can develop our own, like many thousands and thousands of species out there who have their own ideas about how to die, and what dying means, and that it's a continuation of life, and that they can, we have reptilians out there who die and right away respawn in an egg where they already have the body waiting for them, right? So for them, it's like, oh yeah, back in it. Okay, get out of the egg, brush away some of the eggshell, and there you go, And then have Greys who've like, upgraded their consciousness, and they're just like, okay, the fiber body fell and it's damaged. Oh, no issue. Let's get a new fiber body, and then they continue. So lots of species have their own techniques to deal and cope with that. On planet Earth, unfortunately, it is something that we got to do, and we've done that.
And care for the human emotion too, because a unique experience about humanity is that we have these powerful emotions, and it's a continuation for that being, and the education needs to be there on that side of a new education of the crossing experience, but also like a different education of how to process the different feelings of grief, how to process the different reflections that might come up, more support for that, and more an anchoring of like learning to celebrate that life needs to drop in too. Does everyone know what I mean? Like learning to sit in the celebration for that life's passing needs to drop in too. There's so much, and I'm glad we do talk about that in some rounds of Ticket to Ride. I'm curious if we will next round, but we do talk about the crossing experience and a new perspective on that, or maybe a more expanded perspective. Not new, perspective's ancient, but more expanded one than we currently have.
Yeah, I mean, there are new perspectives. I think it's great to know what other species are doing. It's like a few years back then in the projects, a decade ago, or one decade and a half ago, a little bit more, I don't know, but they were looking they had an afterlife program, right? Because they wanted to know what's happening with the body, what's happening with the mind, how can we overcome these things, how can humans who are very organic in their death process still, how can they even compete with other beings that have these spawn abilities, right? Talking about certain reptiles who just when one of the bodies just falls down to the ground, they immediately respawn in this egg and hatch out with a completely fresh, rejuvenated body, and then they just continue within seconds. So they wanted to know what's that all like, and I think it's a very mind-opening process to see how other species deal with that. But back in those times, and this is how fast everything can change. This is how fast things can change. Back in those days, the message we got from every more enlightened being, more experienced being, was everyone dies. At one point, everyone dies, you know? But right now, we're at a point where we are getting more and more messages of beings who don't, you know, who are existing all the time because they are remembering and reconnecting to their immortal nature. They shift, they change, they, you know, live different, the infinity of experiences, but they know of their eternity. So knowing that shows us that something already has happened. And again, if one consciousness has found a way that is biologically superior to other protocols, the refinement principle of the universe will expand that and will test it on other people. It's one of the reasons why it's so important to be in STAR, because we together installing some of these assets that are good for us in our bodies and so on. So what we can expect is that you know, the death subject is going to shift and change as well. But again, we have a whole module on that. Anyway, that was a beautiful moment with Jeff Mara's, or at least Mara of Jeff Mara. Would have that was heartwarming. I really love Jeff. My gosh, they had I'm so glad he is actually I don't know if guys know if you know that Jeff had a moment where his YouTube channel was demonetized, whatever, but that's a crazy thing, you know. I immediately call him and say like, hey, let's do a you know, event together, let's do Activate together or something like that, you know. And that is that's a root movement, right? That's the support of the community that holds these institutions alive and so on. But luckily for him, great news, he's back on YouTube, and if you don't know him, give his channel a like. And
he's
subscribe.
A fantastic interviewer, and Mara works with him behind the scenes. His wife, they do a great job.
They do. She's an editor and a professional musician and a lovely and wonderful soul, and apparently a good cook, as I've heard. She makes some good cevapcici or something like that.
And Tim, I'm curious, with one of the comments here, someone was asking, I'm pretty sure about the nettle leaves in India. I think we should look into that, because what I've noticed is a lot of the research I've done on ancient history, some of the ancient information that all of us love to go in rabbit holes down. It's so interesting because I'll ask Tim about it with a certain name, and then it'll take a while, but then he shares some information that I'm like, that's what they said in the Sumerian tablets. And he's like, I don't know, I never looked into the Sumerian tablets, but there's often a lot of similarities is what I'm saying, which is really, really cool to see. So maybe we look into that after, and you can offer some information if you see any similarities in your work. But from my understanding, it's people are making really deep predictions about life paths, kind of like almost like reading the Akashic records through these leaves. I'm not an expert in it, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening in India there. But I'm very curious if there's any overlaps. Maybe we can look into that after, and you can share in the with the community.
Yeah, that's why I said in the chat that I currently don't have information on that. I'm not aware what that actually means. But it's a funny thing, because I've never been in the Never before have I been in the spiritual nor the UFO Earth community. So a lot of the things that people, you know, have inquired about or asked me about in the years, I said like I don't know, you know, I haven't heard about these things. And then suddenly it turns out like wait a minute, the way that you described that, do you mean that star race, or do you mean this constellation or that, you know? And then somehow we're talking about the same stuff, and I have tons of information about it. But it's literally that that sometimes there are these slang words, you know.
Yeah, like different words for the same thing. So that's what I meant. Like it takes a little bit of time, but it's so fascinating when that moment happens and the connections are made.
Yeah, let's go. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, I grew accustomed to certain things in the spiritual world, you know, where it's okay to call them grays because they got gray skin and so on. It's so funny, you know. In probably like 50 years or so, we're gonna be those generations will be, I can't believe they called them grays just because they had gray skin. How racist of them, you know. And how now we all hear like, oh yeah, those grays, they're gray, but they come in a variety of colors too. That's the funny thing. Now what are we going to do? Are we calling them the purples, the blues, the I don't know, bronzes? Anyway, so many people who found me through Jeff and Mara. That's actually so cool.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful. Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Yeah. He is wonderful.
Oh my God,
talking about palm
Anna.
leaves.
Yeah, wow, Anna. She said she went to India at 19 to go looking for her palm leaf, but he couldn't find one for her. And then she said, I guess those ancient rishis didn't foresee our star seeds coming. There's a lot.
Fun fact, they did.
Sure. What do you mean?
I mean, the Vedics are full of you know, talks about star seeds, being six, like amazing amounts of stuff that being six has shared with us directly inside of the Vedic texts and so on. It's to me, it was so fascinating. I turned myself towards India and was interested in that during the time of the projects, right? I'm in Europe, you don't usually look into the Vedics or the Indian text or something. You usually grow up, I don't know, Protestant or I don't know, Catholic, and that's mostly it. There wasn't much diversion in the religious school classes. And then suddenly, I mean, the same thing with CERN, right? They have a huge Nataraja statue, like the dancing Shiva, that is standing in front of the CERN. And lots of people who are in the 20th century were turning towards the quantum reality. Suddenly they were all like, oh my gosh, I think the Indias, the Vedics, thousands of years ago are talking about exactly the same stuff that we just revealed. And then everyone was kind of like, they're all aware of that, and everyone was like, oh, we better should not talk about that because we won the Nobel Prize, you know, like we should. How can
they had it down? They had it down. They knew what they were doing with sages, you know. They never felt like they were the ones to get the information about the universe. They had sages who were tuning in and receiving the information about the universe. Like we're catching up. We're just catching up to what they've been doing.
100%. And there's so much in it, but at the same time it's also like such a personal you know, experience as well.
Yeah.
I remember that again in the projects, the, you know, this life form, everyone who's new to the channel, who's never heard me talk about that, it's well documented. Go to Jeff Mara, Gaia. So I talked about these about at least my project with being six, life form 6, LF6, as they charmingly called us in that realm. I've talked about that quite a lot, but you know, they said they were directly communicating with people in the Indias, you know, and lots of these ideas that we find preserved in the Indias, but there was more communication going on in Egypt, in Sumeria, and so on. Wherever you go, you find somehow statues of blue-skinned beings, right? Like, what is that about, you know? And being six was this beautiful blue crystal fractal being that we had contact with. And yeah, there were so many things that were very personal. But the Vedics in its own right are very personal, because people have their own interpretations of it, right? One of the things that I remembered and I found truly inspiring back then was when I discovered, the Ganesh principle, right? The child principle of the universe, the principle of joy, and so on. And Ganesh comes with a huge round belly, a very round belly. And there are so many stories about that, and so many interpretations that are all true. There he is. There he is. Look at that charming fella. Anyway, it comes with a big belly, and I was wondering why. And again, there are so many interpretations. It's about the life, the joy of life, the abundance of life, that we always have. We always covered in the universe. There's something passing energy towards us, and so on. And Ganesh was living the best life, and so on. But what I found interesting was when I was asking being 6 or life form 6, and I said to them, what was the original idea of that belly? Like, what is your interpretation? And again, it's just an interpretation, because they were saying, like, for them, it was the idea that we create a sphere around a body. We are a vortex field, right? And inside of this vortex field, we can create fantastic abilities, right? Something, again, that we do in Star, like the ability to levitate, the ability to bilocate, the ability to shift and change your body, right? Ganesh has like an animal head with a human body, just showing that you can embody different experiences and energies, and spirit animals and so on inside of the body. And I found that so inspiring, because for me it was like, oh yeah, there is so much potential dormant, and we can reveal that. But I also noticed that it's a highly personal process, and you can't just go out into the world and say, like, this is why Ganesh has the big belly, because there's 1,000 people who have a different aspect. They say, well, he has the big belly because he's enjoying life, or it's the big belly of Buddha, or something like that. And I learned that when I was telling Sid the story of being 6. And normally he's sitting at my ear. No, his ear is sitting at my mouth. I don't know. So is that a saying like that? I don't know. I thought that was
Ear is sitting at my mouth. You're gonna get a message from Sid saying, "What did you say I did?"
What language is that again? Oh my gosh, I'm speaking quite a few languages. There's definitely one language where literally translated, it means someone is like with their mouth, their ear at someone's mouth. Anyway, but he was like, when I said, like, yeah, it has to do with the gravitational field and the electromagnetic field and the toroidal field around beings, and Sid was like, everyone has their own interpretations. And then he wanted to hear something else, and I was like, okay, yeah, well, it makes sense. It's
the genius. The genius of the Vedas, and at every different level of consciousness, we can go back and then catch different information, and it becomes something totally different. It is the genius of the Vedas. It's fantastic. I always go back to a few of them, like every few years, just to go back and see what happens, and it's amazing. Those texts are amazing.
I love that. F. Shagar is asking, Tim, what's your favorite topics talking about on Gaia? I loved the whole show Truth Hunter that we did with Linda Moulton Howe. First of all, because she's so respectable. She's an amazing being. Linda, if you're out there, if you're in the chat, maybe anonymously, just know that we really adore you and really respect you. But especially because it was such a liberating, open topic conversation. And Cosmic Disclosure is a lot about, like, again, the cinematics and so on, and a lot of the stuff that I've experienced in my life. Many stories are very cinematic, but the most magical moments also happen in they sometimes don't take extremely long. They're just like very high value imprints, that where it is a challenge to stretch that over a show that is what's Cosmic Disclosure, like half an hour or so, maybe 40 minutes, I don't know, like something like that. So some of the stuff we've never gotten the opportunity yet to talk about. There are so many. I'm mainly known for like these 2 big projects, but there are so many other moments of meetings and so many other moments where beings and species have influenced my life in ways that make me eternally grateful. And I know they are eternally grateful because I have influenced their lives, and it's like this beautiful experience that I'm very proud of and that I'm very happy about. And I haven't had the opportunity to talk about that. I have never talked about the raptor species on Gaia, which we are sharing a planet with, right? They're here, and I love them deeply from the depth of my heart. We've never really talked about the Ant people. We've the ground people and so many other things that we've never talked about. And sometimes there are moments that only lasted like a few seconds or minutes, or where it's just like one particular thing that just shifted and changed my life. And it's quite a challenge to put that into a 40-minute show, right? It would be like something that is high impact, but I can tell these stories in like maybe 10 minutes, and then we would have half an hour to go to something else. So that's what's my take on Gaia. But I am very, very positive that we get to share more about these things very, very soon.
The Beyond the Stars that you did with Jeff was really, really cool too. If people haven't heard that yet.
That is very true. Yeah. People, it's a fan favorite, like the Beyond the Stars show with Jeff. Is really, really spectacular, really an amazing thing. But it's almost the same situation. Jeff is like, Tim, can we do another season? How do you have material? And I'm like, well, I have material, but then there are like many things where is it enough material to make a whole 40-minute talk about it that performs well on YouTube?
For sure. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes you got to hear that people want to know these things, and they want to hear what you're saying about them and your interpretation, and just hear you talk about them. Because I for sure know that would make a great series. That you have information that would make great new series.
That is the reason why I made Agora, to be very honest, everyone, which is you can just join that Agora. It's also on the We Love Hub. Be with me and ask me questions, because lots of times we get a show done that is 2 hours every single month. There's actually an Agora starting next month, so if you have questions, just come and join us there. Every month we get a show done for 2 hours, and we could go on and on forever, but it's due to these spectacular people in Agora who's asking questions that I didn't think of, and it's I think that's the coolest aspect, because I come into these sessions completely unprepared. I put on a tie, but that's it. And then we get it all together.
Fantastic.
That'd be really nice. Thank you so much, Mara. Love that so much. Yeah, please reach out to your husband, Jeff, and give him a warm hug from me, and say he means a lot to me. And I'm very, very excited to have a phone call with him ASAP. Right?
So nice.
Okay, everyone. It's 1 hour 52. It's been nicer and nicer every minute. But we do have a job to do here, which is our meditation. So this time we're going to do that together, which I'm very excited about. Sarah is doing that with me, and everyone around the world, you're all invited to join us into this moment meditation. Let me just get the right Mimi is asking, can we see all past episodes when we join Agora? Yes, you can currently watch the last few months of it because we switched over to the Wheel of Hub. So every month the new sessions keep adding. Yes, you can watch them all the time. It's filling up. Okay, let me... I think I mute your mic, Sarah. So just remember that I'm to unmute yourself later. Okay, everyone. It's our big turn. It's our big play here, everyone. Let's do the All Shift Happily Now community live meditation together. And as always, please be invited to bring some good energy, accumulate some good energy, multiply your energy. Keep an open heart and send and double these energies. And we're doing that together with an amazing amount of beings, friendly beings, lovely beings, and we're opening the doors right now so that all these beings can join us. So when you feel that you're connected with any star species, when you are connected with any star family, even if you don't know that yet, but you might feel it in your heart that there's something in the universe that is with you, then know that you and the star species and all beings and all friends, we're all invited in. Take a moment, find yourself a cozy spot, find yourself a cozy position, focus on my voice, and let's go into this all together. As always, we start, if you want, with your eyes closed. If you don't, you can have your eyes open. But then we do a little bit of like a psychic warm-up. We do have the pineal gland, which is in the middle of our cranium. And that is where the soul connects with the body. This is where the third eye sits. It's right in the middle of the forehead. If you choose to keep your eyes open, I would like to, try to meet the beam of light that your pineal gland, your third eye, is sending into the universe. If you'd like to have your eyes closed, that's a more internal technique, and that works for most people even better. So roll your eyes a little bit up so that even though you have your eyes closed, you still kind of like look into the point in the middle of your forehead. And let's do a few breaths in and out together, and we are accumulating energy in that third eye spot. So when you're inhaling, collect energy from the eternal field, make it happen, distribute that through your body. And then when you are exhaling, exhale and visualize how energy, wonderful blue beam of energy, is sent out through your third eye. Let's do it together. And now let's aim at all these beings across dimensions, all these beings in this beautiful community, on this planet, all these beings in other reality realms. Let's all connect one another in the love, right? So the next thing that we do is we internally bring the energy of our heart, good intentions, our joyful moments, all of this, we bring that into the energy flow that we do through the third eye, right? So when you're inhaling, feel yourself filling up with the eternity of energies, and then connect the loving nature of your heart with your third eye while you send out the blue beam, and that is meeting every other blue beam throughout the dimension, throughout the realms, all these beings. Let's do that all together. And now envision that there are worlds opening up, and they are doing this with us, because we are all part of this life form that has created the worlds, that has created the universe. Right now, let's connect together. Let's make each other feel that we're here for one another, that we love and appreciate one another. Beautiful. And now let's go even further. And with all these beings that have taken proactively steps in order to make the shift, to support us, to protect us, to be light beings in the universe in order to harmonize the sacredness of the universe. Let's give our thanks to these beings as well, the guardians, the protectors. Knowing that we all have roles in this shift, we all have our own functions, and we all are benefiting from this. We're all rising through this with one another. And we're doing this in the awareness that we are, though we have different forms, we are this one universe. We are this one form of life that has many, 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 many bodies, many, many forms, and many preferences. Make this a celebration moment. Make it real. Be aware that we have this opportunity to come together, to be together, to enter a new world together, and to be in this new world with all and one another. Send the energy from your heart, the loving nature, the good intentions. Bring that up into your third eye and send this blue beam so that it meets the other blue beams. And see that we're all creating this field. Everyone who's in the star class already know that we are contributing to this too. That the star field that we've created is even further expanding this all-shifting field into happiness with the next breath. And now envision yourself and ourselves reconnecting with these families, these other aspects that we've had lives over lives together, the feeling of rejoining, of recommunicating, of being again with one another. And now feel the calm, the excitement at the same time. The calm for knowing that it's all good. The universe is the subtle but powerful, mega huge refinement process based upon what we call love, based upon social activities, based upon the good intentions, based upon the knowledge that we are all this one life form, that we've come to life because we wanted this. We wanted this so much. And now we have entered this phase where we get to care for life through what makes ourselves special, what makes ourselves happy, what makes our world and our path joyful. And we're all here for that. And we're doing this together. So do this with the next breath. And let this expand into all directions, knowing that it makes it beautiful, a calming, a joyful, a loving feeling in all these beings, in all these realms. If you're feeling that right now coming through and over your body, make yourself aware that we've created this. Open yourself up for this love. Let it fill in. Fill your whole body, your whole mind, your whole awareness. And just feel the gratitude crystallizing in, fully being here, being with us, shifting happily, having shifted happily. And know that this is expanding more and more the more we do this. And with that, I'm passing that over to Sarah so she can continue.
Beautiful. And breathe and soften and relax. Open body, open mind, open heart. Give yourself a moment to relax into this beautiful gratitude even more as you feel yourself melting into this moment even more. And give yourself this moment of encouragement with the depth of your heart that you are doing good. You are doing good. You have done good work, and you are continuing to. You are right where you're meant to be. You are right where you're meant to be. And you now live in a world that gets more and more beautiful every day. You are so loved and appreciated for all that you are. Allow yourself to rest in those loving arms of this universe of you, of we, knowing that you are doing good here. You are doing good work. And you can relax into the awareness that you are right where you're meant to be. You're doing good. And you now live in a world that gets better and better every day. And begin to set the intention with all of us together, if you choose, that you are open for miracles in your life. You are open for life to start showing you things that leave you in awe and wonder for how beautiful it gets to be here. You are open to seeing more evidence in your world of how things are getting better and better every day. That you are open to have moments that leave you smiling from ear to ear, wanting to share with one another the beautiful synchronicities that are happening, the wonderful shifts that you're noticing, and all of the evidence of how held, how safe, how loved you truly are. And breathe and soften and relax and have a moment with your heart where you feel the encouragement that you are doing good. You are free to be you now. You're safe here. And we now live in a world that's getting better and better every day. That in this moment, we get to anchor into our hearts, breathe into our physical bodies as we feel this sensation of living in a world where we're safe here, we're held here. It's getting better and better every day. Breathe into how that feels in your body in this moment. And feel your heart opening up to allowing life to be this good. To allowing your life to grow and expand in its beauty with more ease, more joy. It gets to be this good. We can continue growing here with ease and grace, and you are doing good. Good work. And breathe and soften and relax. And allow yourself to bring a huge smile to your face, breathing into the smile. Make the smile big and goofy and feel how it shifts your field as you breathe into a big smile on your face. Breathe into that smile, feel it shift your field. Feel so glad to be here. Feel the joy of being alive together in this moment. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes as we feel how good it feels to be here together with a smile on our faces, connected to the joy of one another as Tim closes us out today.
Let's go. Let's go, everyone. Thank you so much. I have a big smile because Jeff Mara just joined us. Hi, Jeff. Good to see you. This is the right moment because we're going to do the big All Chef Happily now together. I want you to focus that when we do this, realize that we've done that many, many times, and each and every time it doubles the effect already. So we have trillions and trillions and trillions of times the effect. But right now, let's do it with all the heart, with all the psychic energy, wherever you are, and even those beings that are in different dimensions. Okay, let's do it together in whatever language you have. Let's do it, say it out, and feel the wave all over this universe. Okay, let's say it in 3, in 2, in 1. All
shift happily
now. Oh, yes. Oh, my God, everyone. Thank you so much. Unstoppable is saying that was incredible. Thank you so much. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful, everyone. Where's the energy melody here? Everyone, thank you so much. Jeff, I'm going to reach out to you probably a little later because we have a premiere after this. But I can't wait to talk to you. Apologies. Again, we had a little bit of a family thing going on. But other than that, I'm so excited talking to you very, very soon. And my heart is filled with the love for you for being with us on this channel. And your lovely wife who basically called you in, I would assume. Thank you so much, Mara. Thank you so much, Jeff. Everyone out there, thank you so much. That has been... Where's the... My gosh. Where's the... Oh, the outro. There we go. There's the outro, everyone. Ah, that's the right energy, everyone. We love you with all our hearts. Thank you for everyone who joined Agora, everyone who's been with us in Ticket to Ride, everyone who does their job in STAR to update our bodies, everyone here in the community live. I said Ticket to Ride already, but this is what's coming up. So link in the description, get your ticket, be with us, and let's all shift happily.